Hello everyone and welcome back to Kathy Rain. Let's just get back into it, shall we? The last time something weird happened, I can't explain it. But now we're gonna go back and hopefully it will be explained in due time. Okay. Wait a minute. I thought I was past this. Can I leave?
Alright, I'm off. Peace outie.
Okay.
Okie dokie. Good luck and see you later.
Ha. I almost thought I was back in limbo for a minute and the game didn't save for me, but it's okay. I'm okay now. I'm gonna turn. It's perfect, actually. I want to check out this church. That's what I've been wanting to do this whole entire time.
Hello, Father.
Greetings, my child. I'm glad you decided to come here.
Not for you, though.
Yeah, but just so you know, I'm not here to join your church or anything.
Oh, I would never assume that.
Good. So, with that out of the way, I have some questions.
Anything you need. I'm Isaac Price.
Kathy Rain, but I'm guessing you figured that out already.
I did. Rumors spread quickly around here. So how can I be of service?
I'm gonna ask you about exactly everything.
Do you know anything about what happened to my grandfather in '81?
It was the work of the devil, I'll say that much. Joseph was a kind man. He did not deserve such a fate. You heard my speech at the funeral, Kathy. I meant every word. He was a great man who did much good for this community.
Did you know him personally?
In a way. He and my father did charity work together. Joseph was around a lot when I was young. They collaborated on a few different projects for the homeless and for the troubled youth, among other things.
So my grandfather was a member of the church?
I wouldn't say that, no. He was a friend of the church, but he wasn't a religious man. He believed only in philanthropy. That being said, Joseph was the person who convinced me to become a priest.
Really?
Oh yes, I was a teenager back then, full of rebellion, every fiber of my being wanting to distance myself from my father. Joseph made me realize my sinful pride, and showed me how I should follow my heart, regardless of what others might think. And for that, I'm eternally grateful.
Okay. I just noticed the unsettling music in this church. Not good for new visitors, guy. You might want to change that up a little bit.
What's your opinion on Charles Wade?
No opinion. He used to be a prominent figure around here, but he doesn't appear much in town these days.
Actually, he's in the community clinic right now, getting medical treatment.
Oh, I wonder if it's serious. Perhaps I should go talk to him. Even men like Charles Wade need a priest when they're nearing the end of the line.
Interesting. Also,
Did Lily Myers mean anything to you?
It does. I was a substitute teacher in her high school for some time before I was ordained.
Really? Did you know her personally?
We weren't close. I only knew her as much as a teacher would know any student.
Alright, so how did she seem toward the end?
For one, she started skipping school a lot, and when she did show up, she was absent-minded and moody. She always looked depressed and hunched down like she had a whole world on her shoulders.
Any idea of what caused this change?
Not a clue. All I know is that when she returned from that last summer break, she was a whole different person.
Do you know anyone who goes by the nickname Cocky?
I have no idea. Sorry.
Do you know anything about Lily Myers' art?
I saw a few pieces. Gorgeous work. Vibrant, surreal landscapes.
When was this?
Must have been mid-70s. The high school had open days with an art exhibition.
So, this was some time before she changed, right? You didn't see any of her later work?
No. By then she started skipping art class completely from what I heard.
Maybe she was afraid of what she might draw. I hear it was pretty twisted.
Could be, but alas, I suppose we'll never know what was truly haunting her.
I'm doing my best to find out. I don't believe the story to be as clear-cut as everyone makes it out to be.
An unusual theory. How so?
People have taken a particular interest in her art. I think there's more to it.
I wouldn't read too much into it, my child. It happens to all dead artists with any talent to speak of.
That is interesting. Let's ask him about his own church.
Care to tell me the history of the church?
Okay, that's...
I'd be happy to. The story is a fascinating one. This church was founded by my father, William T. Price, in the 70s. Back then, he made his living as a traveling salesman and was driving through this area as he'd done so many times before. However, this day was different. My father held dark thoughts in his mind. He was angry, thinking of evil deeds, even considering swerving off the road into a rock and ending it all. Then suddenly, divine intervention. 3 bright lights appeared. The Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost, the sign of God.
Wow.
This epiphany was the moment my father had been waiting for. He sold all of his belongings and took me and my brother to live with him here in Conwell Springs. Soon thereafter, he built this church and started gathering followers. They began to refer to him as Father Bill.
I take it that window up there resembles what he saw when he had this epiphany?
Indeed, the stained glass window depicts the Holy Trinity as witnessed by my father.
Do you know exactly when or where this event took place?
Why do you ask?
Oh, just curious. It's a captivating story.
Well, it was in the spring of 1971, but my father never told anyone where.
Okay, so what happened then?
People flocked to Father Bill. He started teaching, writing scripture. The church flourished and continued to grow all the way up until his sudden death in 1983. That's when I stepped in to take leadership of the church.
I take it that the church started declining after the death of Father Bill?
Yes, naturally so. With such a magnetic personality, he was irreplaceable. But I assure you the church is still very much thriving.
No, Kathy, come on.
Looks kinda empty to me.
It's not really our peak hours.
What's up with you handing out pamphlets at funerals then? Trying to reel people in at a weak moment?
I'm going to assume you meant no disrespect, child. I'm simply providing divine guidance when it's needed the most.
Yeah, okay. That's what they all say. Let's ask him if he recognizes anybody in here.
Do you recognize the men in
Yep.
this picture, Isaac?
Only your grandfather, and that's just because I was given a similar picture for the service the other day.
Okay, let's show him our little divine lights picture and see what he thinks about all of it.
I could, but I think I have more to gain from a subtle strategy. I'll keep it to myself for now, until I know more about this church.
Oh, yeah, because it could be a cult.
Father, do you know anything about this flower?
No, my child. Nothing at all.
Interesting. I think we might have everything. We can ask him what the key goes to.
Do you know what this key opens?
I'm afraid not, my child.
I sincerely doubt it will come to that.
Okay, goodbye. I don't know, if he's the leader of a cult, I might want to stun him.
That's all I need for now, Father.
May the Lord shine his light on you.
Yep.
Impressive window. There's no doubt about it. Those are the smoky lights.
Mm-hmm.
It's an altar. You know, the place where they put the sacrificed goats, kids, and other crap.
True, true. Every Christian church has one. Our own sacrifice. I want to see what's behind here.
Locked.
Damn it. Let's look over here then. Is it also gonna be locked?
Locked.
Dang. Bibles. Let's pick up a Bible. Why? Why not? We might need it to bash
I
someone.
really shouldn't. They might burn.
I was gonna say we could use it to bash someone's head in, but you know. Let's just go. Well, let's go to the link. I really want to see this. Oh, it's the dude that looks like, yeah, it's the homeless guy from the prison. I mean the cops place. Let's look
It's
at
that
it.
homeless guy who helped me distract Lenny.
Yeah, I thought so. Alright, talk to him.
We meet again, Mr. Homeless Guy.
Homeless? That's the worst thing I ever heard of, and totally untrue.
So, what's up with the trash can? Digging for treasure?
Well, I'm just going through a rough patch.
Uh-huh.
By the way, you owe me $10.
Nah, you agreed to 7.
You're busting my balls here.
Better get those balls checked out in this clinic then.
So cold. Like a stake through the heart.
What do they call you anyway?
Goober. Everyone calls me Goober.
All right, I'm Kathy.
Pleasure to meet you.
I love his personality. I'm gonna ask what his story is. I'm genuinely interested right
So,
now.
what's your story anyway?
Even though he might
My
bullshit
story?
it.
Yeah, don't all bums have a story?
For your information, this is all just a dry streak in my showbiz career.
Is that so? I don't recognize you at all.
I used to have more hair.
That I actually believe.
Come on, man. Frankie Gold is my stage name. Surely you must have heard of me.
No.
Not really, no.
Oh, come on. I have starred in dozens of Hollywood movies.
Really?
Silence of the Lambert, Jacob's Bladder, The Usual Surprises, Natural Bald Killers.
Not ringing any bells.
Kids these days, no appreciation for quality cinema. Breaks my heart.
Silence of Lambert. A Silence of the Lambs reference or pun, perhaps. Let's ask about the
So,
showbiz
tell me
career.
about this acting career of yours.
What about it?
Oh, we can ask about. Ooh, I have to ask about Silence of Lambert.
Tell me about the Silence of Lambert.
Lawrence Lambert, a real estate agent, suddenly turns mute overnight. For weeks, he tries to communicate with customers using a self-invented sign language, only to realize that true love needs no communication at all.
What?
He marries his housekeeper, who only knows 2 words in English, yes and clean. In the end, Lawrence dies of a heart attack in the arms of his lovely wife, Consuelo Lambert Vasquez. Based on a true story.
What? It has nothing to do with Silence of the Lambs at all, but you know. What? How did he go from being silent to realizing that true love? What? I don't understand.
I'm not sure I want to know what Jacob's Bladder is about, but I'm gonna ask anyway.
Jacob's Bladder. The tragic story of Jacob Cobb, a schizophrenic man who forms an imaginary romantic relationship with his bladder.
What?
During long and joyful monologues on the can, he starts referring to his nether regions by the name of Jenny. Sadly, before Jacob has a chance to elope with his sweetheart, he gets committed to an asylum due to increasingly erratic behavior. After a big fight with his paramour, Jacob refuses to pee for a week, and he dies from a ruptured bladder.
That. Okay. That is very interesting, and the movie I will skip out on. Let's ask about the.
Give me the rundown on The Usual Surprises.
A lighthearted comedy taking place during the surprise birthday party of 34-year-old Sid McBacon. The story is told from 8 different perspectives to keep the audience guessing who the protagonist actually is. The movie ends with the biggest surprise of them all. Sid suddenly dies of an epileptic seizure.
What?
I guess it's more of a dark comedy.
Why always a death at the end? I'm gonna ask that after I ask about the rest. Natural bald killers. You know there's gonna be a death at the end of this one. You know, with bald killers and everything. About
Natural
killers.
bald killers?
It's a dystopian vision of the future where people are valued by the quality of their hair. The protagonist, Eddie Zephyr, turns bald in high school. One day, he has simply had enough of all the teasing and the bullying, and he completely snaps and heads out on a scalping spree in search of the perfect head of hair. Eddie makes his way to Mexico for an illegal hair transplant. However, he has an adverse reaction to the anesthesia and he dies on the operating table.
Why always? I wasn't expecting that from natural bald killers. And the usual surprises now I'm linking to the usual suspects, perhaps? I don't know the rest of them, though.
Why do you always die at the end of your movies?
Typecasting.
I see.
Oh, never mind.
Not the cultured type. I understand.
I asked you about everything, though! I like him, though. He is absolutely hilarious. And I would go to see 3 of 4 of those movies. Okay. Consultant.
I need to ask you a few questions.
Sounds serious. Ask away.
Okay. Fine. I'm gonna ask you about every single thing on this page.
Do you know what happened to Joseph Rain in '81?
I most certainly do.
What? Tell me.
Are you sure you want to know? Not everyone can handle the truth.
Oh, just spit it out.
Okay, here we go. Ready? Abducted by aliens.
Oh my god.
I should have known better.
Oh, I saw it, man. A big, huge light. I was a bit drunk at the time, but I had my reasons. My wife had just left me, taking the dog, not to mention I was being conscripted for the war. But I'm telling you, those goddamn aliens took him and they experimented on him. And that's why he was so messed up when they put him back.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to stop you there.
Open your mind, man.
I mean, my mind is open to the fact that aliens might exist. But I won't see it until I won't believe it until I see it. Charles Wade.
Do you know who Charles Wade is?
Sure, he's been holed up in this clinic for the last couple of weeks.
You saw Charles Wade go in there?
Well, yeah, I just told you, man.
How did he look?
Okay, I guess. Still walking, at least.
That's good, isn't it? Lily?
Do you know who Lily Myers was?
Yep, my dad was the one who found her floating in the lake.
Really?
Really? What can you tell me about her?
Ah, geez, not a lot. I mean, teenage girls, man, they're like their own species. Impossible to figure out. Not to mention how that entire family ain't, like, people-friendly.
Now that's an understatement. Nearly started brawling with Sue the first time I met her.
She could sure deal out a mean whooping, that lady.
How do you know?
Do you recognize the nickname Cocky?
Why, I used to call myself that back in Nam.
What?
Oh, how I miss that marvelous youthful ego of mine.
Why do I even bother?
I don't know, but this is fun.
What do you know about Lily Myers' art?
Nothing but hearsay. People say it was pretty deranged.
What's your opinion on the Church of the Holy Trinity?
I'd say they're good people. Isaac the priest is, anyway. His dad, Father Bill, on the other hand, though, he and the people he had around him were into some weird shit.
Really?
What kind of weird shit?
I don't know, they were like a cult or something, with Billy Praise himself at the top. Really shifty bunch of folks. Isaac turned it all around when his dad kicked the bucket, made it a proper church.
Interesting. Do you know anyone else who was involved in the old church?
Not really. I tried to stay as far away from those people as possible. Ask Isaac about it. He's a friendly guy.
All right. I might do that.
Huh. That's interesting, considering everything I've heard about the church so far has been great. The guy who was running the church before has been great, but, I guess not. Let's ask about the,
Do you know
flower.
anything about this flower?
It's red?
Enlightening.
This is fun. I want to keep doing
Do you know
this.
what this is?
Chinese fireworks, of course. I grew up in Shanghai. I know what I'm talking about. They used to call me Dong Pai, meaning round-eyed baldy. Those were some rough years. I miss the food, not to mention the women. Got 2 kids down there now, Mei Lin and Little Ping.
Time to hit the off switch now, buddy.
I can't with this.
Do you recognize these men?
That's your granddad, right?
Yeah, what about the other two?
No idea. I think my face blindness is acting up again.
Okay.
I think that's it. I think that's everything that she'll be willing to ask him about. Goodbye.
Okay, that's enough serious questions for now.
Alrighty.
Yep.
Okay,
Bye.
I'm off.
Bye.
He's great. He really is, though. He does have an imagination, and I could totally see him he'll be... I could see him as a YouTuber, actually. He could be a conspiracy theorist YouTuber, and does, like, skits on the side.
Was expecting plastic, but this looks like a real plant. A calendar from 1991. Guess they really liked that year. No thanks. Women's magazines make my brain melt.
Understandable.
Rows and columns of files. Probably easier to use the computer if I need to do some digging.
True.
I can't read it from here.
Alright, let's talk to this lady.
She looks bored out of her mind. Pretty understandable, to be honest.
I mean, if I got paid to just sit and do things on my computer, I would be happy, but okay.
Excuse me, nurse?
Hello?
Hey, nurse! Yeah?
Oh my god, she has bitch face. They don't pay you much, huh? Try not to strain yourself. Somebody around here hates their job. They don't pay you. I'm gonna go with the understanding route. They don't pay you much, huh?
They don't pay you much, huh?
No shit. What do you want?
I'm here to see Charles Wade.
Never heard of him. Anything else?
What?
Bullshit. I know he's here. Listen, it's okay. I'm a friend of the family.
No, you're not, and I said he's not here. Don't make me call security.
What security?
What a bitch. I need to get rid of her somehow.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I bet we're gonna use Goober. That's the only way. Hey, Goober. Let's talk.
Hey, doofus.
Oh, hi.
Live performance.
So, how good an actor are you?
The best. The very best.
You know, that nurse in there, she said she loved you in all those movies, and that she always wished you'd give her a live performance.
I knew it. She always gave me these strange looks.
Uh-huh.
I thought it was contempt, but her face must just be cramping up from shyness.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's definitely it. She'd love to see you act, I'm sure.
I'm gonna have to oblige. Which movie do you think she'd like the best?
She was kind of... let's give her Jacobs. I kind of want to see all of these, though. I might just... Let's go.
Definitely Jacob's bladder.
I'm feeling the pressure.
Oh god, I hope I get to see some of this. Go, follow him.
Oh, Jenny, everything is forgiven. You and me were like peas and carrots. I'm just so full of your love that I think I'm about to burst. Jenny, where did you go? Oh, I don't feel so good. Thank you. You've been a great audience.
He's not a very good actor, but I want to hear everything.
That wasn't really an electrifying performance. I'll have to intervene somehow.
Electrifying. I wonder what we could possibly do. Well, I have an idea. But I want to hear the rest.
Hey, doofus.
I really do. I really do.
Hey.
Sure.
Let's do...
Probably the silence of Lambert.
Oh, I'm gonna be loud.
I want to hear it, buddy. Come on. Let's go. Go after him. This is gonna be hilarious.
Al Consuelo. How I wish I could speak. I have so many things left to say. My chest, no! It can't be! Hold me! Thank you! You've been a great audience.
Come on, guy. You got some you got some. I'm gonna
Hey, doofus.
milk this.
Oh, hi!
Live
Hey.
performance.
Sure? Any suggestions?
I love it. The usual.
How about the usual surprises?
Business as usual.
Alright. This is hilarious. I don't know why. I just love this guy.
I can't believe you guys did all this for me. You know, what's that smell? Bacon?
Bacon.
Oh, Bobby, my head hurts. I'm seizing.
He's terrible.
Thank you. You've been a great audience.
He's terrible, but his personality makes up for it. So. I wonder if this woman's just like, why does this guy keep coming in here and screaming in front of me? Like, what the heck is this deal?
Hey, doofus.
Oh, hi.
One more. For live
Hey.
performance.
Sure.
Natural bald killer.
Natural bald killers would be the obvious choice.
Bald move.
Bald. I love him. I do. I really do. But this time we're gonna.
Fernando, you've been such a good friend. I can't thank you enough for making me whole again. Turn this scalp into a breathtaking golden carpet, such as the world has never seen. Okay, doctor, I'm counting down now. 10, 9, 8, 7,
Samba.
6.
Sick.
Thank you. You've been a great audience.
Good idea, but it wouldn't match his symptoms.
Oh, okay. So I'm sure we're gonna have to use what was it again? It was natural surprises. Alright.
Hey, doofus.
Oh, hi.
I love his life.
Hey, how about
Sure.
But
Any
now it's
suggestions?
time to electrocute him. To electrify his performance. So, the usual surprises.
how about the usual surprises?
Business as usual.
Alright, come on, man. Let's go. Hippity hoppity. Go do your business. I mean, that's not.
I can't believe you guys did all this for me.
Alright.
You know, what's that smell? Bacon? Oh, Bobby, my head hurts.
Nurse, he's seizing. Oh shit.
Oh shit, I have to do my job now. Oh, dang it.
Man, I feel like a total jackass. I'll have to make it up to the poor guy later.
How about you give him that $20 you wanted? I would have gave him $20, you know.
Employee of the month, Carlita Mendez. What a joke. It's that obnoxious nurse.
Oh my god.
Employee of the...
Let's look at the computer. Let's use the computer. Let's go back. Because I don't know that bullshit. I'm probably gonna have to use the floppy disk. Yep. I have to write something down again. I got my paper and my color pencil ready. Because that's the old thing I could find. Alright. I can't do that, but let's extract the admin password. Oh. Alright. C. Mendez. And O. Torgador? What the heck is that? I don't understand, but accident shut down in Moscow. Let's use it. Alright. C. Mendez. Otor Gador? I don't understand that word. What even is that? Alright, cool. So hold on, let me try something real quick. Wait, I can't spell anything. Here we go. Joseph Irving Rain. Patient was brought in by law enforcement in a state of confusion. No apparent exterior trauma. Did I go down? I can go down. Pupil dilated, normal, unresponsive to other stimuli, possible stroke, referring to neurologists for further diagnosis. Okay, what was this guy's name again? I completely forgot. Interesting. Hold on a second. Charles Wade. Okay, yeah, my bad. Alright, let's go. Oh good, I don't have to type that in again. Charles Wade. There we go. Alright. Charles Wade. Referral from Dr. A. Fryman, St. Francis Medical KC. Patient has undergone successful invasion heart surgery and was transferred to this facility at his own request. The initial prognosis looks good, and the patient is likely to make a full recovery in 6 to 8 weeks. Oh, that's great. So, well, that's it. That's all I needed. Goodbye. Wait, hold on a second. I wonder if I could... Charles Wade. Oh, room 6B. Okay, cool. Just because I'm curious. How about rain? Okay, we got Joseph already. Is there anybody else? Ooh, how about Willie Myers? Nope. Myers? Okay. Nathan Myers? Nope. Can't think of anybody else. I guess that's the only two? Okay, goodbye.
Rows and columns of...
Nope, I don't need that. Pen, paper, computer. Let's go up.
uncomfortable, hard plastic chairs. It's like they're intentionally trying to keep people out.
Like most.
Smoking allowed. Guess this place is a bit behind on healthcare regulations.
I don't think they care that much about that. Alright, let's go see Charles Wade.
It's all right, Claude.
Understood, sir.
So, you managed to find me.
I did.
Well, let's get this over with then. How do you want your pictures?
What?
Shall I get some tubes to fill my face with? Will that suffice for your front page?
I'm no journalist. Well, not yet anyway.
Ah, she's but a cub. So, you're hoping for your big break.
No.
Surely this must be worth an internship at one of the big papers. Do you want me to call Thompson at the Times and get it over with? I still play golf with him every once in a while.
That's not what what it's about. It's personal. You're assuming a lot, Mr. Wade. I don't need to piggyback on favors. I make my own way. I have a feeling this will get me shot, so let's try it.
I don't need to piggyback on favors. I make my own way.
A stance I can respect. Very well, you have piqued my curiosity. Who are you?
I'm Kathy Rain. Joseph was my grandfather.
Now I remember. You were at the funeral.
I was.
You were late.
I needed my morning smoke. Besides, it's not like Grandpa was going anywhere.
Cold.
Oh, just look at her, Claude. She's absolutely fearless. That's Joseph's blood running through her veins.
She certainly has a smart mouth, sir.
I must say, you have me intrigued, Kathy. What can this old man help you with?
Everything. I'm gonna ask about everything, of course.
Do you know anything about what happened to my grandfather in '81?
I wish I did, Kathy. You must know I did everything in my power to help. How do you think Mary Elizabeth could afford all that expensive treatment? MRIs, neurologists, say what you will about Joseph. But he was never rich.
Strange. Grandma never mentioned that to me.
She's just too proud. At first she refused. She was convinced that I had an agenda, that there were strings attached.
And were there?
Don't be silly. Despite all that had happened, I still loved Joseph dearly. I wanted to help. People from places like this have a deeply rooted mistrust in the rich, passed on for generations. In her eyes, I had become one of them.
So that's all you know about the whole affair?
Are you implying that there's more to know? I left the diagnosis to the professionals. Mrs. Rain accepted the health care, but asked me to stay out of everything else. So I did.
I see. What can you tell me about your friendship with Grandpa?
Joseph was the best friend I ever had. We grew up together, married our high school sweethearts together, went to war together. I can't even begin to count the number of times he's saved my life. I repaid the favor once or twice, but he came up ahead, no doubt.
So, when did you two lose touch? I heard that something happened between you and him. What was it?
The truth is, Brian Rain happened. Sharon Evans happened.
My parents?
Yes. They ruined everything with their vile, destructive behavior. I couldn't have that around my daughter or my newborn grandson. Joseph was naive. He believed that anyone could be helped, that anyone could be reasoned with, given a chance. He was just too good, bless him. He should have been harder on Brian, more strict.
I see. Agree with him about tough love. Tell him Grandpa is not to be blamed. Well, I don't know the situation, so I'm gonna agree with him on tough love.
I wouldn't mind teaching my old man some manners myself, wherever he is.
Yes, of course. You must understand this better than anyone. People like your father simply cannot grasp how far their bad influence spreads. So our families started drifting apart. Eventually, my company grew much too large for this little town, and we moved on. Not long after that, your grandfather ended up in that wheelchair. That marked the end of our friendship, for obvious reasons.
Okay. Now, Lily Myers.
You bought a number of paintings by Lily Myers. Why?
I'm known to dabble in art from time to time. Martha, my wife at the time, was enamored with the paintings. I believe she first saw them at the high school which the Myers girl attended. Anyway, after the poor girl killed herself, I bought the paintings speculatively. When a young artist with any talent to speak of commits suicide, it can be a wet dream of certain connoisseurs. Shortly after procuring the art, I had it valued by an expert who determined that the value was 3 times the amount I bought it for.
Wow.
Today, I'm sure I would have made my money back tenfold or more if it wasn't for the art theft.
What art theft?
There was a burglary at the mansion I used to own here in town. It was all over the local news at the time.
Well, shit.
Eloquently put.
Interesting. Alright, cocky.
Do you recognize the call sign Cocky?
No.
Would be strange if I didn't, since I was the one who coined it. It belongs to a fellow named Jimmy Cochran. He was a coward, really. The nickname is somewhat of a bad joke.
Perfect. Thanks.
Finally, we get something out of this. Let's ask about Jimmy now.
Tell me about Jimmy Cochran. Is he still alive?
In a literal sense. He's been held in a mental institution for years.
Let me guess. Since 81?
Either 82 or 83. I'm fairly certain it was early 83.
Do you remember the name of the institution?
Something starting with an E. Emerson, Everton, or similar.
Ingstrom? Ingstrom Psychiatric Hospital?
Yes, that's the one. You know the place, Kathy.
Let's tell him the truth. Why not?
I do. My mother is in there. Sharon Evans? I had her committed about a year ago.
I see. It must have taken a lot of courage to do that, Kathy. Mothers have a lot of power over us. More than most of us care to admit.
I guess so. Do you know why Jimmy ended up in there?
Some obsessive-compulsive syndrome. He became fixated with circles and started hurting himself, trying to scratch the circles out of his head.
Sir?
Creepy. I wonder what set him off. I think I'll check the place out tomorrow. Too late to head back to the city now.
I mean, these circles, perhaps? I don't know. Everything seems to be connected, so I don't know.
Can you tell me about the art theft?
Yes.
Well, somebody broke in, stole the paintings, and got out. Fairly clumsy job. Lots of broken windows. The strangest thing was that I had a Monet, a Rembrandt, and 2 paintings by Picasso, untouched. But every single painting by an unknown local artist, gone.
That can't be a coincidence.
Agreed. Somebody wanted those paintings badly.
Interesting.
I assume there was an investigation.
Yes, Sheriff Truman came by with his deputy a few hours later, but they didn't have much luck. They found a few hairs, which turned out to be from Ruffles, the family dog.
Some stunning police work right there.
Indeed. There was a single witness, though, who said he could make out multiple burglars leaving the scene of the crime, but nothing more than that.
So, I take it the case was closed?
Yes. I honestly didn't care much one way or the other, given the fact that my most expensive pieces were safe and sound.
I think I'll have a chat with the sheriff about the matter, if that's okay with you.
Certainly. I'll call ahead and instruct him to give you everything you need.
That'd be great. Thanks, Charles.
Anytime. But I'm curious, what's your interest in the paintings?
I've learned that my grandfather went to Sue and asked to see them, right before he had his injury.
Is that so? Strange.
Strange indeed. Alright, let's ask about the church.
What can you tell me about the Church of the Holy Trinity?
They seem like any other church to me. But then again, I'm not their usual clientele. Weddings, baptisms, and funerals are just about what I can muster. And I always leave early.
Okay. Ask about the flower, why not?
Do you know what this is?
A flower? Why don't you consult a botanist instead of bothering me with this nonsense?
Oh, hush. It's not like you have anything else better to do, buddy.
What do you see in this picture, Charles?
Fireflies would be my best guess. They can grow terribly large around these parts.
Interesting. I like having everybody's point of view. Well,
Do you recognize this, Charles?
of course he does.
Of course. Your grandfather, me, Jimmy Cochran. Taken shortly before we went to the war.
You guys look like you just won the lottery or something.
Indeed. We were mere children, with no concept of what we were getting into.
Ask about the key, why not?
Do you know what this key opens?
You must be truly desperate if you ask random people a question like that.
That's true. I couldn't ask my roommate, though. I would have asked her, but no. Kathy didn't want to do it.
I don't need to show him. I don't need...
Nope. Nope, okay. I think that's everything I can think of. Thanks, buddy. I'll see you later, maybe.
Thanks, Charles. That's all I need for now.
You're welcome, Kathy. Come back anytime.
Okay, I will do that. I can't comment on it. Phone.
A private phone. Wade must get special privileges here.
Well, he's rich. Duh.
Looks like Wade brought some of his old tunes with him.
Really old.
Just some boring landscape paintings.
Not boring. They look nice. Okay. Look at Clyde.
That guy is huge. I wonder how many cows he eats per day.
Ha! Claude. Now, am I pronouncing that right? I'm not sure.
I'd rather not. He'd crush me like a twig.
Okay. I mean, he probably sees a lot in this business. Hold on a second. Is it just me, or does Charles Wade kind of look like one of those, like, I don't know, like a marionette doll, I think? Or like one of those dummies that ventriloquist uses right here? I don't know, it might just be me. It's just that line, right? It's just this line right here on his face that makes him look like that. I don't know. That's probably just me. Okay, let's go somewhere else. Hey, this is still open. Yeah, let's use it real quick. I can ask about that one guy. Hold on, what's his name? Let's see. Oh, yeah, the notebook. Jimmy Cochran. Okay, let's look at that.
A computer.
We log in. Jimmy Cochran, maybe? Is that? I'm not sure if that's how you spell. I'll just check. Hold on. Cochran. Is that right? I wish I could look at my notebook while I'm on this. I think I spelled his last name wrong. No. Yeah, it's C-O-C-H-R-A-N. Okay, let's try again. Hello, Jimmy, C-O-C-H-R-A-N. Anything? No? Okay. I had to check. Why not? It was still unoccupied to my surprise. Can I go in here? No. It seems abandoned for something being next to a hospital. Oh.
Yep, it's full of trash. Figure that.
Let's sift through it.
Yeah, I'm good, thanks.
Okay, no, never mind. I mean, there might be something useful in there, you never know. I guess not. Alright. We visit here, let's go to the nature reserve, I guess. I'm sure the mother doesn't know that. Hello.
Well, this is it. This is where the picture was taken.
Interesting.
I'm not sure what I expected to find here.
This flower, perhaps?
I need to clear my head.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm not gonna do anything then. No scoping around for me.
What
Whoa!
the?
Who?
We've met before, haven't we?
It's the guy from that dream. Nope, just no. I remember a creepy bald dude with makeup. I doubt it. You look like you just escaped from a circus. That's not really my kind of gig. I don't think so, Mr. Clean. Unless seeing your face on a bottle of detergent counts. I like that.
I don't think so, Mr. Clean. Unless seeing your face on a bottle of detergent counts.
Always the joker, aren't you, Kathy?
Yes.
Who are you? How do you know my name?
You told me, remember?
No.
I feel strange. Am I dreaming?
It's the mending I will try to facilitate.
What?
You're not real. I'm lying asleep in my bed right now.
No.
Focus, Kathy. Listen to the drowned girl.
You mean Lily? What about her?
She's the anomaly, the missing refrain, the convergence point of things past and events yet to happen.
What?
Dial down the metaphors a notch, would you, Mr. Kafka? I get enough of that shit in English class.
I knew you wouldn't disappoint. I'm glad, given how much trouble I went through to be here. You see, my name was taken from me, so I claimed a color in its stead. The next time we meet, you'll know the exact hue of red. You're on the right path, Kathy. Follow your grandfather, and everything will work out in the end.
What the?
Wait,
You can
What?
fill that in for yourself.
how did I get here?
I have no idea.
Am I going crazy? Am I turning into Mom?
Probably. I'm not sure if schizophrenia is genetic, but I think schizophrenia is genetic. If she has schizophrenia, I don't know. I'm just assuming. Show.
Various...
I've been up here.
Mr. Bear!
How about we?
Good idea.
Yeah. How about we turn this off? Take this.
That's better.
I was gonna put it back in the lamp, which I probably should have done before, but guess not. Let's go see Graham. Graham will make everything better.
Oh, hello, dear. Glad to see you again so soon.
I'm
Hi,
glad to
Grandma.
see you
I just
too.
thought I'd drop by.
Sure, hon. Stay as long as you'd like.
I'll hold you to that. Let's talk to her. She sets everything right. I like it.
Mind if we talk for a bit, Grandma?
Not at all, dear. What's on your mind?
Let's ask about everybody and everything that we can.
Do you know who Jimmy Cochran is? He was a friend of Grandpa's.
I believe he teaches at the flight school these days.
I don't think so, at least not anymore. I was told he was placed in a mental facility.
Interesting.
Really? He always struck me as a kind man. Maybe a bit nervous and on edge, but not crazy.
There's more. I found out that Jimmy asked Grandpa for help not long before Grandpa ended up in that wheelchair. Jimmy sounded really desperate. I'm sure what happened to Grandpa that night had something to do with his cry for help.
You should go find the man then. Surely he must know something.
That's the plan. I just wondered if there's anything else you think I should know about him.
Not really. We haven't stayed in touch since Joseph was injured. I know that he had a wife, Agatha, and a son, James. Agatha passed away from cancer years ago, but as far as I know, James still lives in the city with his family.
Okay, thanks, Grandma.
Yeah, thanks, Grams. You're great.
I don't see a reason to ask her about that.
Why not? Wow.
I don't see a reason to...
I guess, okay, let's ask her about the lights and the
What do you
flower.
see in this picture, Grandma?
I have no idea, but it's quite an eerie display.
Well said.
What is it?
I'm trying to figure that out. I found the picture hidden in the attic.
Oh, come to think of it, the trees do look similar to the ones in Conwell Woods.
Yeah, it was taken somewhere in that area. I found out that the flower in the picture matches a rare local species.
Aren't you clever? Do let me know if you come across anything else.
Let's ask her about the flower.
Do you know anything about this flower, Grandma?
I can't say that I do. I remember seeing it growing in the woods, but I didn't think much of it at the time.
I think that's it.
See you later, Grams.
Take care, dear.
I never clicked on this before, I don't think. Let's look at it.
That tea must be getting pretty cold by now.
I know, she's been sipping it the whole time. Take it.
Nah, I'm more of a coffee gal.
Okay, I can respect it, but I'm more of a tea person, so. You could also use the cup to bash someone's head in, but we don't want to take grams to find, China for that. Wait! Hold on, wait, whoa. I could look at the phone book for something. Hold on, wait a minute. Wait, go back. Oh, and I have to go back to the police station because we have to get... Let's look at
These
the
should
phone.
come in handy.
Let's look up Jimmy.
It's a phone book.
Yes. Search for Jimmy Cox.
No result for that.
What? Dang it.
Nope, couldn't. No result. Nope, couldn't.
Of course not.
Nah.
Okay, well, my ideas are out the window. Let's just go to the police station to ask more about the art theft. No. Or maybe we should go here first and talk. No, we should go get all the information first. And then tell the mother about the art theft. Because I don't think she knows about that. She would have told me if she knew, I would think.
Lenny Marks. Sure, he's cute, but no.
He's cute. He's cute. Oh, Kathy. He's cute. I don't know why she's saying no, but probably because it's like law enforcement versus rebellious terror. I don't know.
Hey, Lenny.
Hello, Kathy. What's up?
Let's ask you about Jimmy Cochran.
Do you know who Jimmy Cochran is?
Not really, Kathy. Sorry.
Oh, you're useless, aren't you?
Nah, I don't want to ask him about that.
But he's the police guy. You ask him about that.
Nah, I don't want to ask him about that.
Oh my god.
Hey, Lenny, do you recognize this flower?
Yeah, I accidentally inhaled pollen from one of them when I was a kid. I remember being sick and delirious for days.
Oh.
Scary. Where did you come across this flower?
Somewhere in Conwell Woods. Not sure where exactly.
All right.
Interesting.
Do you know what this is?
I have no idea. Looks creepy, whatever it is. Where did you get it?
Grandpa had it hidden away in the attic.
Probably for a good reason, then. Be careful out there.
Thanks, man. I'll do just the opposite of that.
Hey, Lenny, do you recognize these men?
Not really. Sorry.
Oh, you don't even recognize
Well,
my
gotta go.
grandfather like everyone
See ya.
else? Alright, time to ask the chief of police about this.
That must be...
We know this is the sheriff. Let's ask him.
Hello, Sheriff. Mind if I ask you a few more questions?
If you must.
I must. Jimmy Cochran?
Do you know who Jimmy Cochran is?
Nope.
Willie
Do you
Myers?
know anything about the art theft in the Wade estate?
Yes, Mr. Wade phoned ahead about that. Lenny,
Oh, great.
Yes, boss.
get the report from the burglary in the Wade estate back in '86.
On it, boss.
Oh, yay. I have connections.
There you go, Kathy.
Thanks, buddy.
This is perfect. They're just gonna let me keep it. Let's examine it then. Alright. At 1:12 a.m., the alarm in the Wade estate is triggered. The house is empty at the time, and the neighbors contact law enforcement. Officers arrive at the scene. Several broken windows can be observed. A sweep of the estate and surrounding premises reveals no trace of the perpetrators. A single witness identified as Franklin Goldfarb. Wait a minute. Reports burglars leaving the scene of the crime. Charles Wade arrives in Conwell Springs to make an official statement. After examining the house, he reports that the paintings, with an excess value of $15,000, have been stolen. The art in question has not yet popped up in any circles that are known to deal with stolen goods, terminating investigation due to lack of leads. Okay, interesting. Franklin Goldfarb. We have to find out who that is.
I gotta find this Goldfarb guy.
Good.
Maybe he knows more about the burglary.
Interesting. I'm gonna wait for them to start talking again and then go in. Because why not? You gotta check everything in these kind of games, you know? If they start talking, yeah, just go.
How's the paperwork coming along, lady?
Okay,
Oh,
I guess.
she waited
Maybe
for
halfway through.
me. Okay. Well, that's nice. I wish I would have known that before.
A jail cell. Huh, very funny. A jail cell.
I guess we could turn them back on. Why not? I don't know what else.
Too heavy to carry around. Brilliant.
No, turn that off. That's awful.
No wanted posters.
No, aww, from Goober either. Let's just leave. I don't think there's anything there for me. Now I'm gonna go ask the mother about the stolen art, because I don't think she knows. That's very interesting. That or maybe she does. It's been in the news. I don't know.
Oh, it's you again. Come on in.
All right, I'll come in.
No Nathan today?
Nah, haven't seen Nate all day. Probably out in the woods.
Lily, me.
Is this how Nathan still sees himself? As a little boy? That must be Lily. She seems very happy. The left half is torn off.
I feel so bad for him. He probably misses his sister a lot. Let's talk to Sue.
I had a few more questions, Sue.
Shoot.
Alright, Jimmy Cochran?
I don't need to ask her about that.
Okay, never mind. Not.
Did you know that somebody stole Lily's paintings from Wade?
Huh? I knew he got robbed a few years back, but I thought he still had them all.
I don't need to ask her about that.
Why not?
Does the name Franklin Goldfarb mean anything to you?
You mean Goober? Nobody calls him Franklin anymore.
Oh my god.
Oh, that's Goober's real name? Gotcha.
Okay, great.
Did you know that somebody stole Lily's paintings from Wade?
I already asked them.
Huh.
Do you know anything about this flower?
Why was I
Sure.
standing?
Smoked it a few times back in the day, before it was endangered and all.
Yeah? What was it like?
Similar to pot, but stronger and more unpredictable. Never touched the stuff after I got pregnant with Lily.
All right.
Interesting.
Sue, what do you see in this picture?
My God, that looks like one of Lily's paintings.
Wow, really? Can you describe it?
It was in that time scene, just like the photo, but the lights were floating above the lake. There was a pale hand reaching up from beneath the surface trying to touch them. The forest in the background was on fire, making the sky purple and red. There were probably other details too, but that's what I can remember.
Sounds captivating. Wish I could have seen it.
Oh, I feel bad about bringing this up to her. I think I already asked her about this. That's it, buddy. I'm sorry.
I think I'm gonna head off now.
Sure thing, little cat. Come back anytime.
I know what else to do, perhaps? I don't know, actually. Maybe we should go back to the... Let's take off on the Catmobile. And... Oh, we have to find Goober, yes. Let's go back here, because maybe we could...
Hello?
Weird red man.
Creepy bald guy.
Yep. Huh.
Guess no one's home.
Wait a second.
That wasn't here before.
No, it wasn't. Nathan? It
What's
looks
this?
Like the other half of the picture?
A bald man dressed in red. Oh, creepy.
But that's Nathan's picture. Alright, we're going to put it back, Coop. Wait. It's probably nothing, but I'm gonna go back real quick. I don't know why, but that looked like... This looks kind of like someone peeking around this tree looking at me or something. I don't know. It's just... Oh my goodness. I am seeing things today. Alright, let's go put the picture back and then look for Goober. I don't think Goober will be back at the hospital. Really? I don't know. Hey.
Oh, it's you again. Come on in.
She's so nice once you get to know her. Alright, let's combine this with this.
Looks like Nathan knows the strange red man. I need to talk to him about this.
We need to find them, though. The red man.
That must be Lily. A bald...
Alright, that's it. Now we can talk to people about the red man. We'll have to ask Sue, because she's
I had a few more questions, Sue.
Shoot.
been exposed to the red man the most with her children.
Do you know who the red man is?
Oh, that's just Nate's imaginary friend. The red man has been around ever since my boy was little.
I see. So there's no actual person in town he could be referring to?
No way! According to Nathan, the red man hasn't changed in 30 years.
I don't want to say this because I don't want to get her upset. So let's say this. Well, I don't know. I want to be honest too. Look.
The red man actually exists. I met him in the forest.
What? That's crazy talk. Stop kidding around. I am not in the mood.
Okay. A good thing she didn't.
I think I'm gonna head off now.
Sure thing, little cat. Come back anytime.
I'm glad she didn't get mad about this. That's what I'm glad about. I mean, you would think if 3 people have been telling her about this man. Well, I mean, 30 years. The same for 30 years. Is he 30 years old? How old is Nathan? Maybe the... I don't know. Let's go. Take off on the camera. Okay. Church, nature, where could Goober be? Let's go back to the Clement. Maybe... Oh, he's not back here.
She looks bored out.
Hey.
I need a word, Miss Mendez.
Wait, how do you know my name?
It's written on that board behind you, genius.
You have the eyesight of a bald eagle or something?
Yeah.
What can I say? I'm a freak of nature. What happened to Goober, anyway?
Who?
The guy who had the seizure?
Oh, he ran off somewhere. Kept babbling about a religious near-death experience.
Okay, thanks.
Oh. Religious near-death experience. Sounds like something you would go to a church about. Great. Let's go. We gotta ask him about all this stuff anyway. Alright. Church. Yep, there he is. Hey, buddy.
Goober, the friendly bum in denial.
Bum in denial.
Hello again, Goober.
You again? Are you stalking me, girl? You pop up everywhere I go.
No.
I'll try to tone down the charm, but I can't promise anything.
Huh, yeah, you're quite the charmer.
I know. I just said that, man.
Listen, I feel kind of bad about the electrocution.
Oh, that's what it was. What a cherry on top of my stellar performance.
Yeah, it was pretty convincing.
So what brings you to the house of God? Come to repent?
I'm afraid that ship has long since sailed, buddy. I had a few things I wanted to ask you about, though.
Shoot, Missy!
Jimmy Cochran.
I don't need to ask him about that.
Of course not. Lily Miles art stolen?
I should probably confront him directly about him being a witness.
Okay. Let's ask about the red man, why not?
I don't need to ask him about that.
Of course not. Let's go.
Your real name is Franklin Goldfarb, right?
Oh, nobody calls me that.
Regardless, I know for a fact that you were a witness to a burglary a few years back at the Wade estate.
Yeah, what about it?
Why don't you tell me what you saw exactly?
I heard the alarm go off, glass breaking, then I saw 3 guys running away, carrying a bunch of stuff.
What did they look like?
It was dark, I don't know, they were definitely 3 big, bulky guys. They
what?
Oh, nothing, that's it. Didn't see anything else.
Bullshit, spit it out.
Well, one of those guys dropped his ring when running away. I sort of pawned it.
A ring? What kind of ring?
Platinum with an inscription. 2 letters, B something. Man, I don't remember. My photographic memory stopped working in 1979.
Which pawn shop was that?
Pete's Pawning and Plumbing. It closed down a long time ago, though. Owner left town. There's a coffee shop back there now.
Too bad. Guess that's a dead end. Thanks anyway. Didn't I see 2 letters fitting that description recently? Not on a building. It was something small.
Wait a minute. BH.
Did the inscription on the ring look anything like this?
Wow, actually exactly like that.
BH. Let's ask him about it, why not?
Any idea what BH stands for?
Beehive? Bet high? Big head?
Okay, that's all for now.
See ya!
He's good for coming up with some things. Let's ask Isaac about stuff.
Hello, Isaac. I've got a few more questions for you.
I'm all ears, my child.
Quit calling me your child. That's very weird to me.
Do you know who Jimmy Cochran is?
I don't recognize that name, no.
Play Miles art.
Do you know anything about an art theft at the Wade estate in the 80s?
I have just a vague memory of reading about it in the paper.
BH?
Do you know what BH means? It's inscribed on this lighter.
I'm sorry, but no.
Red man?
This may sound strange, but have you heard of or seen a strange man dressed in red?
Only our Lord and Savior Jesus. Surely his rags were drenched in blood as he lay upon the cross.
That's not what I meant. I mean someone here, in Conwell Springs.
Are you joking? I haven't seen a person like that, no.
I'm not joking, but okay. Goodbye.
That's all I need for now, Father.
May the Lord shine his light on you.
What, no snarky remark about how it's too late for the Lord to do that? Okay, let's go back and talk to, this dude about BH and all that other stuff. Alright, let's go. She doesn't care. She'll let me go anyway. She doesn't care about her job.
Back again, I see.
Yeah.
I sure am.
I'm your biggest fan. Let's go.
I have some more questions, Charles.
I'm listening.
Alright. BH.
Do you recognize the acronym BH? It's on my father's lighter.
My guess would be the Black Hats.
Black
The
Hats.
local biker gang. Your father was a member.
Of course. That makes sense. Thanks.
Let's ask about that.
What can you tell me about the Black Hats?
Not much. They used to stir up all sorts of trouble, but Truman kept them in check.
What about now? Are they still active?
I believe they are, given the incompetence of Sheriff Boyks. I'm sure they're having a field day out there.
Do you know where I can find them?
Not exactly. They have a clubhouse somewhere outside of town, but that's all I know.
Okay, Red Man?
I don't need to ask him about that.
Of course not. Okay.
Thanks,
Well-
Charles. That's all I need for now.
You're welcome, Kathy. Come back anytime.
Will do. I think I'm gonna leave this, off here. After I save, of course. I think it saves every time you get back onto the motorcycle, so I'm gonna get back onto the motorcycle. Alright, I'm gonna leave, like I said, I'm gonna leave it off here, and I will get back to it later. Probably on Monday, I'm thinking. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Have a beautiful, awesome, marvelous, wonderful day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!